Authenticity is the currency your soul craves. It is the key to achieving freedom in your life and to building trust in your personal and professional relationships, and most importantly, in yourself. Authenticity means living true to your principles of values, regardless of the pressure that you may face from other people to act otherwise. It means portraying what is real, even if that seems less desirable, as opposed to presenting a fake image that you think looks or sounds better in your mind. As an example, today as I was preparing to make this video, I thought, should I change my clothes? Should I put on, for example, a collared shirt to look a bit more professional in the video? And then I remembered, I live in Mexico. I intentionally live in a tropical climate where it's warm, and part of it so that I can dress like this. I can dress casually. This is my day-to-day attire. This is how I look if you see me here on a day-to-day basis. So ultimately, I decided to just go with what is authentic for me and dress the way that I normally do. By contrast, inauthenticity is when you act out of accordance with your principles and values and you represent something other than what is true for you. For example, you may tell somebody what you think that they want to hear. You may downplay certain aspects of yourself, or you may play up certain aspects of yourself because you think it sounds better to the person you're speaking with, or you may pretend that you like something that you don't in order to get somebody to like you. The problem is that when you act inauthentically, not only do you weaken the bond you have with the person in front of you, but you also suffer a cost internally because you know that how you are being isn't true for you. You are reducing your trust in yourself, and subconsciously you're reducing the belief that your actions align with the outcomes that you want to achieve in your life, and that makes it harder to achieve them. And you also reduce other people's trust in you, because we all have the ability to sense when somebody is trying to pull one over on us. I'm sure you've had that feeling many, many times in your life. You can just tell, right? When somebody's coming up to you and they're trying to sell you something, or they're just trying to get something from you. It's that feeling of somebody trying to get something from you that tells you there's something inauthentic, rather than just being direct about what their intentions are. And you know what? No one is 100% authentic 100% of the time. Okay, there are situations which all of us slip into inauthenticity, but it's worth paying attention to, because we're living in an increasingly inauthentic world. With the rise of social media and the ability for people to present things a certain way, we're seeing more and more people go out of their way to try to present themselves, present their life, present their activities in a way that just honestly isn't completely true. And so in a response to this, and people are starting to notice, and we've seen this with what's happening in traditional media spaces, where the media has attempted to propagate certain messages, whether it be with COVID, whether it be with the election, that they really want people to adopt, but they do so by presenting in an inauthentic way, by using rhetoric and hyperbole that isn't based on facts. And so right now there's a shift in our culture back towards authentic relating. And I think if you can do this successfully, not only will you be happier, but you'll be more effective in your life. So I want to give you a few examples and a couple different levels that inauthenticity lives at, so you can be better prepared to notice it when it's happening for you. The first level is just doing something fake or staged. That would be like if I had a bunch of people in the background here posing as clients or assistants, and that wasn't true. You might notice that. I saw a video the other day of a DJ, and it was a promotional video for a DJ, and I'm a DJ, so I get served these types of videos. And in this video, the DJ was playing a set at sunset, and there were some girls dancing around the table in the background. And as someone who goes to a lot of parties, I could just tell that this wasn't a real party, that it was something, a video just created and staged for the purpose of trying to make a brand video for this DJ. There was nobody in front of him. The way that the girls were dancing was just stiff and weird. And instead of making me curious about what this guy did, I just thought to myself, wow, he looks like a bit of a D-bag because he's sort of hired these girls to dance around behind him. And he might be a great DJ, I don't know. But the point is that the video being staged and inauthentic made me less interested in what he's all about as a person and as a DJ. So avoiding fake stuff. The second level is when you are inauthentic with other people in order to please them. So think about when somebody asks you to do something that you don't want to do, and you do it anyways, but secretly you're carrying around a resentment because it wasn't authentic for you to do it. That's an example of inauthenticity towards other people in order to please them. And we want to reduce the amount of times that we do this. When you do something for someone else, you want to do it authentically. You want to actually do it and put your heart into it, or be clear that you aren't or you cannot for some reason, and do that authentically. And believe me, you'll have more powerful relationships as a result of this. And level 3 is when you become inauthentic with another person in order to please yourself. So this would be when you are saying something to someone in order to get something out of them, or you manipulate a person in order to get them to do something for you. This is a type of inauthenticity where the other person may pay a cost for your inauthenticity, and you may as well, even though it may not seem that way at the time. You know, I used to struggle with this a lot, and it still comes up in my life from time to time because I want to be liked by other people. And perhaps you can relate to this. If you're a person who cares what other people think of you, as most of us do, then you are going to be tempted to be inauthentic at times in order to get people to like you. And this stems oftentimes from our childhood programming, going back to when we were kids and we were frequently taught to behave like a good boy or a good girl and kind of suppress our emotions in order to fit in and be good rather than to be authentic to how we really feel. Now, some of that was appropriate because we don't want to go through life with no filter and no manners and just being completely loose with our emotional outbursts all the time. But we do, but this type of kind of childhood and cultural programming, which is also the type that says you need to become a doctor, or you need to become an accountant, or you should become an engineer so that you can get a good job, so that you can buy a house, so that you can afford a life. This, you know, maybe that's authentic for some people, but for most of you, it's not. And you ended up in something that may not nourish your soul. And if that's the case, then you may want to think about what would be something that you could do that would be more authentic for you. So if this is something that you've dealt with, here's a couple ways that you can work on creating a greater sense of authenticity within yourself and in your life. Number one, the easy one, is just don't be fake. Don't be like that DJ and hire girls to dance behind you. Don't present your life in a fake way. Don't pretend you are that you're happy when you're not. Just be real with yourself and with other people, and this will take you so much farther. You'll be so much more likable if you can do this. Number two is learn to say no. Okay, other people have requests and demands and intentions and wishes for you all the time. Okay, and I understand that saying no can be difficult. I have struggled with this quite a bit, but saying no is key because it allows you to put your energy towards the things that are most authentic to you. It allows you to say yes in an authentic way. By saying no to some things, it gives you more space to say yes in an authentic way. You may be concerned that saying no will cause you not to be liked. Well, I can tell you that one of the keys to freedom is to be willing to be unliked. Okay? I learned at a certain point that the further I got in certain areas of my life, the more people liked me and the more people that disliked me as well. And it was hard for a while for me to accept. As I started to play bigger and achieve more things and take on more projects, I struggled a lot with some people not liking me for what I was doing. But I learned over time that being willing to be unliked was actually key in my freedom, and being willing to let go of that was the key in actually moving forward and creating more happiness, fulfillment, and purpose for myself. And finally, get clear about your values. This could be its own topic, and I'll go into it in more depth in another video, but quickly, what you want to do is you want to spend time thinking, reflecting, and actually writing down what your values are. Typically, these are going to be based around moments where you felt the most fulfilled, the happiest, the most proud. You want to take some time and think about those moments and say, what was it about that moment that made me feel that way? For example, in my gym business, I remember there was a time after working for months and years to build this gym and get it open and hire people and get clients. There was a moment where I stood on the balcony of the second level of the gym and I looked down at the training floor, and all of my staff and all the clients were just doing their thing and the whole thing was running, and I was just standing there observing it, and I just felt incredibly fulfilled and proud. And when I look back on that moment, what I realized, the reason why it was valuable to me is that one of my values is creativity and creating things that are cool and great experiences for other people. And so in that moment, I realized that I had created something that other people were doing and enjoying and getting value for. And that just was incredibly meaningful. So it helped me see what one of my key values is. All right, that's it for today. If this resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel. If you know someone who could benefit from this message, please share the content with them because it helps the channel grow. And if you'd like my help one-on-one to work on becoming more authentic and stepping into your purpose, go ahead and set up a call with me in the link below. We can do a free discovery call and see if working with me is right for you. See you in the next one.